We kind of have a door on the outbuilding, but we still need to put a roof on this thing. But for now, it's like a little courtyard.
Hola, bon dia.
So we didn't do too much this week, but I did update some lights. So we were given a couple of light fixtures by our friend Maria, and I've updated them and they're ready to install in our kitchen. So we're not ready to install the lighting for the new kitchen yet. We still have to build the kitchen. But we have the lights ready. It was something quick and fairly easy to do. So I got that done. What else did we do this week?
We tore George's ceiling down.
Oh, yeah. So we spent the last 2 days tearing a ceiling out of our friend George's house. We didn't really take much video footage of that. We had, 5 rooms? Yeah, 5 rooms to do, and 2 days to do it in. So we didn't have as much time for videoing, but that's fine. And I've also started working on the nightstands. So our friend Maria also gave us some furniture. She gave us 2 nightstands and a bed frame. So I've started to refinish some furniture. Yeah.
You did. High five.
I did. You can probably tell by our clothing, summer is finally here. So we're going to take you on a garden tour today. We got a couple of free light fixtures, so I'm going to take them apart and spray paint the silver metal parts black to match the rest of the fixtures that we're using. And these will be our new light fixtures in the kitchen. So I have one of the 2 nightstands. I'm going to start cleaning it up a little bit, and then I'll give it a light sanding and see what we can do with it. I've wiped all of the furniture down with vinegar and let it dry, and I've just started to sand this piece here. I'm sanding everything by hand, and I'm using a finer grit because you can see here it is a thinner veneer, so I don't want to sand too deep on it. But you can see at the front here there is a chip missing. I'll try filling it in with some sawdust and wood glue, and then there's some scratches on the surface here that are a bit deeper. So these ones here, and definitely this one, look like they go past the veneer. So I'll have to try the same approach with those, with a little bit of sawdust and wood glue, and see how it turns out. So I've looked underneath the veneer, and the piece underneath looks like it's a piece of wood. It's not like a press board, it's like a thin piece of plywood. So I think what I'm going to do is peel off the veneer and sand the wood that's underneath, because that's going to give a smoother finish than patching the existing veneer. So that's the new plan. So that is what it looks like so far. I managed to get most of the veneer off. There's just a few small little slivers left towards the back. And there's just one piece at the front where the veneer had lifted and chipped off. A small piece of the wood came up, probably because it was re-glued in that spot. So I'll fill that in. It's got like a kind of a zigzag indent on the wood there. And a few little imperfections in the wood, but I now have a thicker piece of wood that I'm working with rather than trying to sand a really thin veneer. So I now have, I don't know, like ½ centimeter. I've started working on the face of the drawer. I put it into the light a little better here. You can see that I have started sanding the face. For this part, I'm going to attempt to use wood stripper. I don't think I'm going to do that today. So for now, I'm just focusing on sanding the flat portion along the top. Normally I'm impatient and I use the orbital sander, but the veneer is very thin on this piece, so I'm just sanding by hand. That way I have more control and I'm able to, just to be more careful around the edges, especially in case it is lifting. So you saw earlier in the video, the veneer on the top of the nightstand was lifting at the back. I opted to remove the veneer for the top, but where I can, I'd like to save it. So that's what I'm working on. So we have some good news for the car. The glass was covered by our insurance. So the insurance here is even better than the insurance I had in Canada. So we were able to get the back window and the passenger side window replaced, and there was no deductible. So it was completely covered by our insurance. So very happy and thankful for that. Our car is back in business. Oh, it looks like it's going to rain soon, but I think I have enough time to get some of my seedlings into the end of this raised garden bed. So we've removed the lettuce because it all has gone to seed. So I'm just going to loosen the soil a little bit with the kind of forked part of this, and then I can plant my seedlings. So you'll notice that I'm using proper gardening tools instead of my beach shovel. So these were a gift from George. I guess he was tired of laughing at me with my little blue children's beach shovel that I found. So I have proper gardening tools now. So there we go. I managed to get the tomato plant into the soil a little bit deeper. Next, I'm going to plant some purple basil just in a clump off to the side. So basil is a really good companion plant with tomatoes. You can see there's lots of roots on this plant, so it is becoming root bound in there. I'm just going to gently loosen them up a little bit before I put them in. These ones I don't really want to put too deep into the soil or into the compost. So we'll just kind of put them in like that. Okay, so we've done a little bit of transplanting. The branch that was turning yellow on my tomato plant basically fell off as soon as I touched it, so that happened off camera. And everything has been watered in so that it can reestablish in the new bed. I think I found a spot for some of the basil plants. So the lamb's lettuce that I planted in a circle around this trellis didn't make it, but that has left a few spots where I can fit some basil plants, and then they will grow up beside the beans. So beans and basil are also good to plant with one another. So that is what I'm going to add here. Now, I decided to go with the purple basil because I think it will look nice with the scarlet runner beans. And we're just going to add them in along the edge here. Apparently this area is a favorite spot for the cats to dig in. So I may be wasting my time, but I'm going to attempt to plant my cosmos here. And I guess if they dig them up, then I will plant the cactus here and see what they have to say about that. I don't really like to use the garden hose for smaller plants like seedlings. I prefer to use a watering can so that I control where the water's going a little better. And we don't have a watering can, so we made one. So you just need a 2-liter pop bottle, drill some holes in the cap, and you're good to go. We like to reuse as much as we can. I don't really know how much of what we put in the recycling actually gets recycled. So if I can reuse it, then I'll just reuse it myself rather than dropping it in a bin. And you can see it works quite well. And the nice thing with all of the rain, we've collected quite a bit of water, so we have a fairly large rain barrel. And then we have a smaller one and a bunch of buckets that are all full with rainwater. So that is what we're using for watering.
Children of the corn.
That is a giant corn.
I don't think it's a sweet corn. I think it's just a random corn that was in there, because sweet corn doesn't usually get 8 feet tall. This is the size usually of sweet corn. But the three sisters seem to work okay.
Yeah, they're looking good.
Yeah, we got some little fruits on the gourds.
Yeah, cool.
This one
So
too.
this here, these little fuzzy things? Or is that flowers?
Oh, right.
Oh, sorry. I probably should have put my glasses on.
Oh,
Cool.
these are male flowers.
Oh, okay. So there's a little... Is that a pumpkin or a squash?
Look at the pumpkin.
Cool.
Squash is over here.
The corn has nice little tassels on it.
Little squash is right here.
Oh, yeah.
Big squash is on the trellis.
Cool.
So the three sisters seem to work.
Good.
Here's another one.
Manuel did add the grass cane to the three sisters. Mm-hmm. And I think it has helped. It's quite windy here, so.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's the last one that was planted, right?
Yep.
The corn hasn't really done much on that one.
Not much.
The beans look good though.
Ton of golden berries.
Yes.
No ants. They're delicious. Tastes like beans.
Yes. And they look good in a salad.
Mm-hmm. Some little figs on your little fig tree. I don't know if they'll develop into anything. They'll probably just fall off.
Cool.
Hey, Christina. I
Yes.
got something for you.
Are you showing off your zucchini?
My zucchini. There's my zucchini tree over there. I gotta trim it again and then tie it up. Grow up the pole.
Okay, cool.
We've got cherry tomatoes
Cherry
coming on.
tomatoes are starting to look good. And yes, sweet corn.
Children of the corn. We never really have good luck growing radishes, so we grow them till they go to seed and they get all the little pods. Those, and they're delicious. You get a higher yield of pods. And the squash trellis over here is doing pretty good. You got some big squish over here.
Squish.
Well, that's plural for squash, right? Squish. Look, you got some
If
squish.
you say so.
You got some squish hangings.
Yeah, they look good.
Broccolis. And cauliflower.
So there is the broccoli.
Cauliflower there. And cauliflower there. Just kind of starting, so.
Yeah.
And then my giant garlic has gone to seed.
Yeah.
Look at the bulb down there. Looks like an onion.
Nice.
I'll take the seeds and plant them and harvest that bulb. Next year we'll have a bunch. Peppers coming.
Cool. Ooh.
Make more hot pepper oil.
Very cool. The flowers are pretty. And then you have all the little peppers starting. And this is more basil and wild mint. And my rosemary's looking pretty good.
It's growing now.
Yeah. How's our maracuja?
It's maracujing. It's doing
I
the
still
same
have a
thing.
few fruit on it.
Yeah, there's a few on it.
And your rhubarb is still doing okay. Oh yeah, that one looks really good. Rhubarb. Let's go. Keep going. I'm going to step on you. Oh yeah, it's looking pretty nice. You can start to see some red towards the bottom of the stalks there. And we have some New Zealand spinach growing. So we have a clump here and another clump here. I think they've migrated from Manuel's garden.
It has.
Which is perfect because I kept trying to seed them and nothing happened. I also figured out how to crochet a basket this week. It's quite small, so it's about the right size to put our jewelry in it. So it will be useful. Our friend George had purchased some from the tourism office in Viseu, but they didn't have colors available that we liked, so I decided to try making my own. I think it turned out okay.
Talent.
Thank you.
Talent.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
So I hope you guys enjoyed our video this week. Please give us a like. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our channel. And we'll see you guys next week. Okay, bye.
Bye.